This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Big O, friend, delusional Finn fan, can you please clear it up for him that keeping Greer and revolving the entire franchise around an incapable QB has hurt them while trying to acquire a decent coach? My brother, I've already been talking about that for a while now, and it's there. It's all there. It's all in the podcast. Your buddy can go back and listen to it and all of that, and I've explained it over and over. Listen, in the end, the Tua disbelievers you will not convince. They will have to see Tua perform in order for them to be convinced. Just like I would have to see Ryan Tannehill play like a real franchise quarterback if I ever was going to believe it. Same thing. That's all. There's no difference. And I've never been proven wrong by Ryan Tannehill, even when he was getting stats, because that's all they were stats, because he was just a product of the system. So your buddy, you'll never convince. Your buddy doesn't believe in Tua. So Tua has to go out and, prove it to a lot of people. And there's a lot of people in the media, and there's a lot of people that are a lot of fans that have completely lost faith in Tua, and they don't believe that he can be the guy. That's all. It's really not that difficult to understand. And this is nothing new in the history of sports. There are players that you believe, and then there are players you don't believe in. Jimmy Garoppolo is one of those players that most people don't believe in. Kirk Cousins is a player most people don't believe in. And he puts up stats, but they don't believe that he's the difference maker. They don't believe he's the guy that will elevate people in key moments. He can be a facilitator, which is what he proves to be on his best days, and that's kind of sometimes what Tannehill is. But is he Russell Wilson? No. Do they view Tua as Russell Wilson? No. Do they view Kirk Cousins as Russell Wilson? No. Do they view Jimmy Garoppolo as Russell Wilson? No. And so until certain players cross that threshold, you're not going to believe it. And even players that haven't crossed that threshold, Justin Herbert, it's funny, right? Because he never crossed the threshold in college and hasn't done it in the NFL, but yet you have people that believe that he's going to be the second coming. Yet Tua has crossed that threshold in college. But in the NFL, since he's been injured and then learning, he doesn't look like he's crossed that right now, right? Because he hasn't. So he has to prove to people. It's just the way it is. And everybody can create their own narratives. So because Justin Herbert looks the part, he's already considered like he is the part. And that couldn't be further from the truth because you still have to prove it. But in a lot of people's eyes, just because you have the physical traits, that's all you need, which is not true either. Just ask Ryan Leaf and just ask Achilles Smith and just ask Tim Couch and just ask Jared Goff and just ask, I could go on and on and on, and Jamarcus Russell, and I can talk about Jeff George, and I can talk about all kinds of guys that had the physical ability but didn't have the mental capability. They weren't able to be consistent enough, but that's just the way it is. So time will answer all. Time will prove whether Tua can play or not. Time will prove whether Justin Herbert is the difference maker. He is what matches his physical abilities. All of this will be proven. And if crazy-ass Jim Harbaugh wants to get back into NFL coaching, I'm not a believer. I need to be proven right or wrong, in other words. That's life, man. So your friend not believing in Tua, you know what? What I would tell you is don't give a shit. Don't care about about convincing him. What is your life going to be any better? Who cares? So you worry about it on your own. Don't worry about what somebody else thinks. Can't convince them. You're not going to convince them. So let Tua do that instead. So we'll find out if they build the offense around him and they give him a chance. We'll all find out who's right and who's wrong when it's all said and done. That's it.